there was some interesting information came out about a lot of the Starbucks that you would see in airports. And a lot of the Starbucks are ran by a company called HMS Host. Now, with the Starbucks, it came out that black baristas are paid less than any other group. So in 2018, Starbucks had announced that they was closing the racial pay gap at all its stores. Well, let's just stop at that moment. Why would you have a racial pay gap? Why are you paying people more based on skin color? If anything, you should have a standard pay. Like I say, listen, this is the pay scale. This is what we pay everybody that come in. Now, if you move up to certain levels of pay, then you come up. But it's the same for everybody. But this is what happens when you go to jobs that don't have a pay scale or don't have a pay scale that's like kind of defined. That, for me, I always think that's a shady thing, because if you don't have a defined pay scale where everybody gets paid this coming in, unless you got a certain experience or maybe you got a degree in certain things or whatever, I've always questioned that. Now, they said achieving 100% racial pay equity, according to them, they did that. But in November 2019, Starbucks stated that the median pay ratio for non-white people would be 100%. Based on data between February and October 2019 across HMS Host operated Starbucks stores in 27 airports across the United States, the median wage for white baristas was $13 an hour, while the median wage for black baristas was $11.15 an hour. And the median wage for Latino baristas was $12.67 an hour. Now, that makes plenty of sense. Now, you may say, what do you mean, Phil, make plenty of sense? It makes sense based on the racial classification in America. White folks, they're going to be the top. And in every subgroup of whites, that's going to be in that group. Hispanics is going to be above black people in this nation, not much, but they are above black people, and then black at the bottom. So basically the way they're paying is based off that racial pyramid. If they had Asians working there, Asians would get paid more than Hispanics would get paid. Just call it what it is. Now, one guy had said that he witnessed supervisors repeatedly use the N-word in casual conversation referring to other people. It said the other supervisors and assistant managers that use the N-word never say that in front of the manager who is Haitian American. It said, but they feel comfortable saying it in front of associates and baristas without fearing repercussions, regardless of race. And this guy's name is Zayed El Mashak. Okay, he works at the Orlando International Airport. I actually been there. Now, based on the respondents, it gets worse. 10% said they have been denied promotion while working at HMS Host Starbucks. 48% of those who said they were denied a promotion identified as black or African American, while only 3% identified as white. So only 3% of white people say, yeah, I've been denied a promotion, but 48% of black people have been denied. Boy, that's just blatant racism. They say 11% of black to African American survey respondents, 15 out of 139 workers, reported have been denied promotions, where only 3% of white respondents, 1 out of 35 workers, report being denied a promotion. In a letter to Unite Here on January 2nd, 2020, HMS Host attributed pay disparities within airports in the part to the average length of the tenure of different racial groups. However, HMS Host does not explain why some racial groups have longer tenure with HMS Host than others. So that's like an excuse. They say, oh, well, he been here longer than them. But they say, wait a minute, this black person been here longer than him. So why isn't he getting paid? And actually, I would say more so why she isn't getting paid, because they say 79% of their workforce is women. So say according to the data for March 2019, there was also a pay gap at the Starbucks stores in Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport. It's where the median wage of black baristas was $2.84 an hour less than the median wage paid to white baristas. It said there were 3 black baristas with more seniority than the ones with the white baristas. who made $2.50 an hour less than the white baristas. Okay, so they got more time and getting paid less. Another white barista who had only 4 months more seniority than one of the black baristas made $3.17 more an hour. Wow. I mean, so but it's always been that way in America. You have a white person coming to a job, they barely been there, and they got you training him or her, and then within 6 months, they're your supervisor. But you've been there 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, and they won't give you nothing. The white person come through the door and get something. But it's set up that way. That's America. America sabotages the black man and the black woman. This is why owning our own businesses is the only freedom that we have. Owning our own and controlling our own schools is the only freedom that we have. And it's horrible, but it's a reality. Now, they said the incident that happened in Philadelphia, remember that one where they called the police on the two brothers and say Starbucks Commission Covington and Burlington LLP under the leadership of the former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder conduct a full civil rights audit of Starbucks and say the audit notes that Starbucks global human rights standard includes a commitment to treat its employees, with fair and equal treatment. But this is the thing. Black people aren't being paid right at Starbucks. And do you remember the last time that black people said, "Oh, you're not gonna treat us right," and black people start boycotting? Oh, Starbucks start scrambling. Because one thing, let me tell black people something. You may not have, a bunch of guns and nuclear weapons and all. You don't have any of that. But the greatest power you have is your dollar. That's the greatest power. Because even Martin Luther King have told you that if you want to inflict the pain, you do it through economics. Because you're not committing crimes by holding your dollars. You're not harming nobody. You're not doing anything. You're saying, okay, well, if you don't treat us right, then we don't want to buy any coffee from you. That's really how that works. So we want to know, why is it that black people are paid less even though they have some seniority over a Hispanic worker or a white worker? You paying them based upon race. See, nothing has changed in America, folks. This is why we need more and more brothers to open up businesses and sisters to open up coffee shops and to cater, to, of course, everybody. But definitely in our businesses, we're not going to sit up there and say, "Oh, I'm going to pay you less because of your skin color." No, that's not the way black people operate. And we also need to support all our businesses, because if we don't support them, then we don't have anything. You have to understand, other groups protect their people. See, they pay white people the most because they protect their own, they look out for their own. And they pay us as black people the least because they don't cut for us like that at all. And if black people would actually learn not to do like them and pay people based on skin color, but learn to support, the community. And it shouldn't be revolutionary to tell people. So, well, you think about this. It shouldn't be a big thing to support the businesses in our community. It shouldn't be a thing that we say all the time, support black business, support black people. We shouldn't be saying that. It should be automatic. Like with other groups, it's automatic. I'm going to shop within my community. I'm going to go find somebody. Like I see Asians, they shop with their people. White folks shop with their people. Hispanics, Arabs, Indians, they all shop with their people. But black folks, we the only one that don't have a strong commitment to finding, what we can within the community. Why? I mean, look how we are treated. I mean, we always, and to me, it's more what I would call American sabotage. That's sabotaging the black worker. And this is why I say over and over and over, we need to create businesses. And if you create a great coffee shop, well, then go to an African nation and create a coffee shop over there too. And that way you on the continent and you also here too with your coffee business. I believe you can build things here, but you got to do it separate and do it within the community. And then, because if you get into too much in the mix, they're going to sabotage you. and then go do it on the continent as well. Because on the continent, at least you have access to all that great coffee, Ethiopian coffee, Rwandan coffee. That would be your coffee plug right there on the continent. You would have some of the best coffee. I remember when I brought some Ethiopian coffee back, man, that coffee was good. Boy, I love that Ethiopian coffee. And when I go back to Ethiopia again, I'm getting more coffee. I mean, you get it direct right there from the growers where you don't put all no crap on it. It's a win-win situation. One thing about a coffee shop, coffee in America literally move like illegal drugs, literally, and legal drugs. People love coffee. And that's one business I would tell all of you, if you could, get involved in and just have the best customer service and treat people right. That's all. Because, when I look at black businesses and black businesses hire everybody, I don't hear people saying, oh, the black businesses, because I'm white, they pay me less and pay black people more. I never hear that. I've never heard that because we don't do things like that. Only people with that white supremacist attitude act that way. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation with these Starbucks within the airports. This is very, disappointing, upsetting. But because some of you, may go shop at these particular Starbucks when you're going to fly somewhere. You say, oh, I want a coffee. And, I'm running around the airport. But these people, they said they stay on their job 24/7 with the racism. It just made me shake my head and say, man, in business, the only color you should see is green. Why would you do anything to mess up your money? It never makes sense to me.